On today's episode, I get my hands on a nitro piston-powered brake barrel replica of the M16A2 rifle, the hard-hitting Crosman MTR77, coming up on Airgun Reporter. At a distance, the MTR77 is pretty much indistinguishable from an authentic M16A2 rifle. When we move in a little closer, you'll see that with the exceptions of the mag release button and trigger, all the functional parts of the firearm have been cast into the lightweight two-part plastic frame. The MTR77 is available in two versions. The one I'll be testing came with a 4x32 center point scope. The other comes with a removable carry handle and adjustable sights. The rear Picatinny rail is made from steel and is screwed to the top of the action. The front rail is molded into the sleeve that covers the .177 caliber barrel. The false magazine is removable and has a sliding door at the top, presumably for storing pellets. To my surprise, there's no rubber recoil pad on the stock. For all the airguns I've seen that have one and don't really need it, I'm curious why this was not designed into such a powerful brake barrel. The advertised velocity of the MTR77 is 1,200 feet per second using lead-free ammo. For my first chrony test, I'll use the H&N Field Target Trophy Greens, a 5.5 grain lead-free pellet. Sure enough, the pellets came cracking out of the barrel at supersonic speeds, averaging 1,182 FPS. The extreme spread within 10 shots was 27 feet per second, with a standard deviation of 7.4 FPS. For accuracy testing, I'll need to tame this beast with heavier pellets, something that will bring the velocity down to the mid-800s. 10.6 grain Barracuda pellets gave me an average of 858 FPS, but they have a hard skirt and didn't seat into the breech as deeply as I would have liked. The lighter weight 7.3 grain JSB RS pellets averaged 873 feet per second, and their soft skirts were a better fit. I mounted the center point scope that was included with the rifle and set my Crosman critter targets out to 25 yards. Finding just the right pellet for a new airgun takes research and practice with a hint of experience thrown in. I was curious how the Barracuda pellets would shoot, so I tried them out first. They seemed like they wanted to group, but I wasn't getting the dime-sized accuracy I was hoping for at this distance. I switched to the JSB RS pellets, and yet again, I could not shrink the groups. I've never shot a brake barrel built into an M16 style frame before, so I thought perhaps I had to modify my hold. I put the stock snug against my shoulder and gripped the handguard tight instead of letting it rest on my open palm. And there it was, the dime-sized group I had been looking for. To see if this modified hold was the key to my accuracy, I did an experiment. Using the Barracuda pellets, I shot a group of 10, switching back and forth from a free-floating hold to a modified hold with a tighter grip. After that, I was convinced that the MTR77 wants to be held similar to its firearm counterpart. The MTR77 has a two-stage adjustable trigger, and in my opinion needs adjusting right out of the box. There's a lot of travel on the heavy first stage, and this made it difficult to tell when it was going to break. This caused me to blink on occasion when firing, something I don't normally do, even with more powerful air guns. Your best bet is to do some careful tweaking and shoot the rifle enough to let it break in. After 5 pulls on the trigger gauge, I got an average of 5 pounds 9.5 ounces. In my test, I got a high decibel reading of 95.6. I would call this medium high, and I believe the hollow plastic frame of the MTR77 contributed to this reading. Putting some expandable foam insulation in the buttstock might help quiet the rifle down. All right, I set up a critter target at 25 yards. We're going to take the kneeling position and use those predator pellets. Let's see how I do. That looked like a hit. All right, one more shot. All right, let me go downrange and see how I did. Well, it looks like my downrange camera caught 3 really nice shots just below the ear on this critter target. The MTR77 definitely has the power and the accuracy for hunting critters such as squirrel. According to the specs, it takes about 45 pounds of effort to break open the barrel, and I believe it. You're gonna need strong arms to target shoot with this all day long. At the bench and off camera, the stock slipped off my leg once while cocking it. There simply isn't enough grip on the butt plate, so please be careful. Folks, the MTR77 from Crosman is a lot of fun to shoot and can deliver commendable accuracy with practice and technique. The tactical look and feel of the tough synthetic stock will certainly please shooters who like the classic M16. There's also plenty of power at 17 foot-pounds of energy for small game and pest control. The trigger needed adjusting to suit my preference, and if you shoot the rifle enough, it will break in over time. Without a rubber pad on the buttstock, you'll need to be careful when breaking it open, and I would suggest a slip-on recoil pad for extra safety. The MTR77 is about as realistic as a break barrel replica can get, and is one of the most unique guns that I've had the pleasure to shoot. Just remember that it does look like the real McCoy at a distance, and I would only shoot it where I could do so safely and discreetly. For Airgun Reporter, my name is Paul Capello. Until next time, shoot safe and have fun. Please remember, folks, air guns are not toys. Even the smallest calibers can cause serious harm if not used properly. And you should never, under any circumstance, point an air gun at another person. Parents, if you teach your children to shoot responsibly, they will have a lifetime of air gun enjoyment.